Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. Today we're going to talk about the ways that you can combine locks. So for whatever reason, let's say you started your locks, they're growing however many months, however many years old, but you see that you need to combine two of them. You need to make them into one because they're acting strange, they're acting crazy, or whatever is going on. So I've actually combined, I think I've combined 4, as in there were 4 individual locks and now there are 2. And I did them actually with 2 different ways. So the first one that I combined is, I think it's right here. It's kind of hard to find it now because it's like actually become its own lock. So this I did with 2-strand twisting. So I basically took the 2 locks together and I just twisted them. And I mean, you can see here, this used to be 1 row that went in between here, but when I was parting the hair, I ran out of space, and this one on this side here became 2 like tiny and very small in between there. So I just decided to combine it, but now they're just kind of like really big together. But like once it's done, girl, it's done. You can't uncombine it, so you just gotta just go with it. So now that's why this kind of looks like a roadblock right here, because this has been combined. Let me show you what it's looking like so you can see where that 2-strand twist starts from. So it's been a while since I've combined it, and I combined it right here, as you can see. So like it's grown like quite a bit. That's been 1, but this is where that combination happened. And you can see that it's basically 2-strand twisted, and it almost locked like immediately, which was really confusing to me because I mean, I started my hair with braids and I did not expect for the life of me that 2-strand twists would stick to each other so well for braids. Like I expected, I mean, if you have like coils or 2-strand twists and you like combine them, that it would, you know, lock better. But mine, I mean, this whole thing within like 2 days, the thing just locked. So as you can see, I can't even like pull this apart anymore because it's like it's merged. So I just typically end up like twisting this together, and this end didn't end up locking simply because like my ends have actually locked, so they're not like curly anymore, so I can't just like put the hair on top of each other. But typically what I end up doing is just kind of twisting it around itself, and then it just kind of goes like that. So yeah, that was pretty easy because all I had to do was just take the 2 hairs, take the 2 locks, and literally just 2-strand twist it, right? And once you 2-strand twist it, I mean, there's like nothing to it at that point. You just take them both and you just 2-strand twist it, and you just basically leave it, and it's good to go. So that's the first option. You can just 2-strand twist it and, you know, just let it be and it'll be good to go. But if, let's say, 2-strand twisting doesn't work for you, let's say that the hairs is just not merging with each other and it's coming undone, because even when I 2-strand twisted that and I washed my hair that same week, the hair didn't unravel, which was like very surprising to me. So I'm like, what type of fibers is like holding my locks together here? Because this is very like, very high level combination we got going on here. But so that's the first way. You just 2-strand twist it and you let it be. And then since then, when I interlock the rest of my head, I just interlock that as 1 lock, and there's like no problem. The other thing you can do, let's say you have 2-strand twisted the 2 locks together, but your roots are kind of like puffing out, or they're separating, or the roots are just not locking with each other. The second way you can do this is 2-strand twist the strands and then interlock the root. And what does that mean? So what you need is just, I use a safety pin for my interlocking. So what you would do basically is, let's say I want to combine these 2. Let's say I want to combine these 2 locks right here, but I've 2-strand twisted it, but like the roots are just not merging together and all of that stuff. What you want to do is like interlock this through the roots of this lock. So if you took one of the strands basically and like slid it through the roots of the other one, it kind of has no choice but to merge at the roots at that point, right? Because now it's interlocked into 1 lock, right? So that's the second way you can do that. The third way you can do that is still 2-strand twisting it, 2-strand twisting the 2 locks together, And then if they're really stubborn, you want to sew it. So depending on your hair color, you can, you know, use brown thread, you can use black thread, whatever color thread you want. And what you kind of want to do is, depending on how you want the locks to eventually be. Let's say you took two locks, for example, two locks, they're kind of like the same size, and you just put them next to each other like this, and you just sewed down like that. Like that eventually might create like a flat lock, as opposed to like a cylindrical lock, which is like what most people have. So in order to avoid the hair turning into like a flat lock, what you want to make sure you do is you two-strand twist the hair together, right? So like if you've two-stranded twisted the hair together, that's already created like a cylindrical form. And so then when you do take the thread and thread through it, it's not gonna give you that flat look. So that's why you want to avoid putting the locks together and then sewing in between, because you might just end up having like a flat lock later. It might not always happen, but like it could happen. So in order to minimize that, you're better off twisting it around each other and then sewing in point so that, you know, it's secured. And then if the roots are still like acting up, then you can obviously interlock the root once and then continue twisting afterwards for people who don't typically interlock their hair. That's it. Those are the 3 ways that you're able to combine your locks pretty easily. So you either just two-strand twist it and let it be. And that typically works for people also who are like in the starter lock phase, right? Because if your hair is still kind of like loose, you two-strand twist it, the likelihood of it locking faster is like pretty high. The second way is to interlock the roots and twist the remaining strands down. And then the third way is to still twist the strands, but then just sew in key points down the 2 strands so that they stay together and they don't unravel. I hope this video helps you guys, and make sure you amend it to, you know, what your lock needs. Because for example, if you have really mature separated locks, you might have to sew in order for the lock to actually combine and stay together, as opposed to just twisting and letting it be. Whereas, like I said, if you have like new locks that haven't really formed, you're probably going to be able to get away with just twisting it and just letting it be. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.